WMBF News this week. We're talking about how to get healthy in 2012 and hopefully well beyond. A number of questions. I remember hearing years ago that you needed to at least be on cardio for 20 minutes before your body started really burning fat. That may or may not be true, but it kind of, Stephen, you would say it depends on the body type. There's a lot of factors there, and basically 1 minute is better than no minutes, right?
Exactly, and you know, everybody's at different goals and different parts of their fitness. They're at different levels, and the whole thing is, you know, go in and do what you can do. When I first have somebody come in, we see where they're at, and we try to improve on where they're at. So I may have people that come in and they can only do 5 minutes on a treadmill or an elliptical, and you know what? If they do 5 minutes the first week and do 7 minutes the second week, by the time a month goes around, they're doing 15 minutes, and then it keeps on progressing more, you know, with that. So, you know, it's just go in and do what you can do. Some days you're going to have more time and you're going to be able to do a longer periods of time, and other days you're not going to have as much time and you're not going to go as long. Some days you're going to feel better than others. The whole thing is consistency. You have to be consistent with it.
Sure.
You know, and if you miss a day, it's not the end of the world. You just get back on track. Or sometimes life happens and you miss a week. But if you get back in there, within a week or so, you're back where you were, you know. So the whole thing is go in there and do what you can do and be consistent with it.
For any of you, how important is the diet's of course important, but for someone who says, you know what, I'm just going to cut back on my caloric intake, I'm going to eat less, or I'm going to eat healthier, and maybe I won't hit the gym as much this week, but I'm going to watch my diet. Do they really have to go hand in hand? Because somebody who just holds back on their food isn't building muscle and isn't building cardiovascular health.
Right. I mean, I tell people, you know, nutrition's important, and the gym's important as far as, you know, you have strength training, you have cardiovascular training, and you have your nutrition, and you want to do all of those, but sometimes things happen, but you know what, you're better off doing 2 of them than not any of them.
Sure.
You know, so I would rather you do all 3, but sometimes things happen, and maybe you had a party to go to one night or something. You know, enjoy yourself, but get back on track the next day.
Absolutely. And how crucial is water a day, per se, whether you're working out a lot or not?
Hydration is important for everybody. So, you know, I always tell people you want to drink water throughout the day. Don't try to drink it all at once. Just try to drink throughout the day. Yeah. And normally, if you do that, you should be fine.
That's good. Yeah. At Carolina Family Spotted Health, do you see patients that come in, they've either had injuries, they've got injuries, can they overcome them at some level with exercise? Is it part of the regimen?
Absolutely, you know, and that's what we talk a lot about with Peyton, is it's frustrating for him and for Stephen sometimes, because you'll get people going into the gym that injure themselves somehow. Yeah. And sometimes that's where it's nice to have a professional like Stephen, sort of, even if you're new to the gym, have him walk you through, you know, using proper posture, using proper form when doing this exercise. Because what happens is people get injured, they end up at our office, and unfortunately they get off of their exercise program. Okay. So what we try to do is we try to help those people, you know, that do get injured, get back to, you know, reaching their exercise goals and getting back to the gym. So that's one important thing is really, you know, when you do start to go back, and, you know, you don't have to go in there, you know, and that's what we talked about earlier with goals. You know, you really want to start out slow. You want to work your way up, and you don't want to get in there and get injured. Right. You know, so yeah, exercise is key to that.
It's definitely key to that. Something that I didn't point out that I think is interesting to talk about is, Dr. Powers, you deal a lot with post-traumatic stress cases, dealing with authorities out there who've experienced death, life situations. So you've certainly seen the importance of the mind over matter and trying to kind of overcome places people have been. Regardless of what holds you back at home watching, from getting to the gym, from being motivated, sometimes even to get out of bed, you've dealt with a lot of these people, and I guess, you know, any stories or any motivation you can give to people who've dealt with great loss, who've dealt with personal loss, anything like that you might want to tell them?
Yeah, most often it's a cycle. Something happens, a traumatic event or a series of traumatic events, and it creates a cycle that you get stuck in, and that leads to depression, that leads to you not wanting to leave the house, to you waking up in the morning feeling like there's absolutely no reason to get out of bed. And I recommend just inserting something in there, whether it's family, friends, that can get you motivated to exercise, to go to the doctor, to go out and have lunch with some friends, to break that cycle, to get out of the house and just do something different.
And that's the truth too, is that it seems for all of us on any level, it's so easy to get into a cycle of the same thing that you do. It's comfortable, right?
Yep.
You get used to what's comfortable, and that's tough to break out of. And for people, you've got things like you talked about, the buddy referral program to get people to the gym, the 30-day weight loss challenge. There are those things out there, but maybe for somebody out there who just that's not working for them, they got to talk to somebody, I guess, and they got to talk to a friend or family member at least to start. Would you say?
Oh yeah, definitely. One of the big things is accountability and motivation. That's the two things, your friends and family. The ones that aren't going to pull you down, but the ones that are going to lift you up. That's what you need to get out of that.
And being held accountable to yourself and by others,
yeah.
right? And then getting some motivation out of that as well.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Let me just throw all you guys out there. What do you think is kind of your motivation? And maybe people at home can kind of learn from it. You obviously see firsthand the benefit the patients get by working out. What would you say your motivation is to get to the gym or eat healthy?
Well, it's funny you asked that. My motivation when I was maybe a little bit younger was to have that beach body, and
sure.
It was all aesthetic.
The six-pack and get the girls, right?
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. It's not like it isn't very important anymore, but I start to really, as I get older, I'm starting to really focus on health. Mm-hmm. And all of us want to be as active as possible for as long as possible. And a lot of people's conception of health is not what it should be. They think if they don't have a symptom that they're healthy, but we all know that you can feel fine today and drop dead of a heart attack tomorrow. Yeah. So health is something that resides in all of us, and it's a matter of taking the steps now so that you can stay healthy for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. And exercise, nutrition, things we do in the office, those type of things can help achieve those health goals and keep you healthy for a long period of time. So my motivation, as much as it is to look good, is to really be as healthy as possible. Yeah. So I know that exercise and getting into the gym and eating the proper foods and having a coach, even having a counselor to help you have that mental ability to look at things in the right way can really go a long way.
Yeah, and David, what helps you make the right choices in life, would you say?
I've got 3 boys, and I'll be honest with you, some of my motivation is just being able to keep up with them. They've got so much energy that I don't want to be complaining or too tired or anything to go home from a long day at work and go play ball.
That makes sense. So the kids are the motivation. Stephen, for you? Besides it's your job to be in shape.
You know what? It's invigorating to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel so invigorated after I get done with the workout.
The energy level is up.
The energy level, and it just makes me feel better, more positive about myself. And even if it's simple as even just eating a good, healthy meal, it makes me feel good. Mm-hmm. So it's and I think it's very invigorating.
Well, that's key for sure. And Peyton, of course, something like that maybe, or?
I tell you, all 3 of them are right. I have a young little girl, so obviously keeping up with her, and I guess like Dr. Cohen said, it's not as far as staying healthy to live a long life, but staying healthy, so I can show her, how good it is to be healthy in life and everything like that, and keeping up with her. Like Stephen said, it's invigorating.
Yeah.
Getting done with the workout and pushing yourself to beat one of your goals.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing, that feeling you get afterwards.
The achievement level. And I've heard people say, well, I don't really want to live to 100, but you might argue that you want to live a good life
exactly.
up to however, right?
Exactly.
So the quality of life would be improved for sure as well too. For people out there who understand the benefit of exercise, we've talked about trying to get them motivated. Any other tips or advice or suggestions that any of you guys would have for people to do anything, whether it's 5 minutes a day, an hour a day, whatever? What would you say, whether it's with your patients, work with clients, that might help them out there?
Well, for me, when we talk at the office, there's really 5 keys to health. Mm-hmm. And number 1, we talk a lot about today, and I think it's really one of the most important things is exercise. We went over all those statistics. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is nutrition. And it doesn't. You don't have to go from having McDonald's every day to eating cardboard. There's a transition there. Also, having a positive mental attitude. Talk a lot about that. We all know people out there that are struggling with that. Getting adequate rest. Yeah. That's a key thing. thing. You know, a lot of people don't get enough sleep these days. And then just having, we work a lot with the nervous system. We want the nervous system to be functioning the way it's supposed to. Those 5 key elements, I think, are important in this coming new year to try to address, and those are things you can control.
Right. And David, as you said, have that goal, right?
Oh, yeah. And there's no age too early to start. My 7-year-old, his list every year, he wants to be Iron Man. So I tell him, all right, well, math is very important if you want to be Tony Stark and be Iron Man.
Very well done.
You got to do good in math.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Getting to your goal is key for sure. In just about 30 seconds, anything else, Stephen and Peyton, you guys want to throw out there?
Just encourage people to make it happen. It's never it's never too late to start. It's never too early to start. And make it a lifestyle. That's the big thing. It's something you're going to do for the rest of your life, and you're going to thank yourself for it.
Yep. And whether you go to American 24/7 Fitness or otherwise, if you do go to the 24/7 Fitness, 38th Avenue from Grissom is your new location, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we've just moved over to 38th Avenue in the Village Square Shopping Center, so you can look for us there.
Great. And 3 other locations, Merle's Inlet, and 2 other ones in Myrtle Beach.
544 in Carolina Forest.
All right. Appreciate your help. Hopefully we helped you get healthier in 2012. We'll check back in next year. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody.